Hello, my loves. Welcome to Pain to Joy. My name is Danielle Sutty, and I want to say a huge, wholehearted thank you for taking the time to be here with me today. Before we begin, I am placing one hand on my heart space, and if my other hand was free, I would place it on my lower belly. And if it feels good for you, I invite you to do the same. And I'm going to take a long, deep breath into the low belly. Feel free to join if that feels good for you. And an even longer exhale. Exhaling all that no longer serves and perhaps never did. How is your heart today? My heart feels thankful for this new journey that I am on, this new part of my healing journey, and thankful to have this space to share with you, thankful for your love and your support, because as I have said many times before, listening is loving. So I'm someone who's very literal, and it's tricky for me because some of the episodes in the last few weeks would have been recorded weeks before they were released. And as I'm recording this, I am on day 10 of my 90-day plan called Get My Life Back. And I thought I would share a little bit about how it's going, how I'm feeling about it, and also the importance of advocating for yourself. And as I mentioned in last episode, my podcasts, this episode, previous episodes, and future episodes are never any form of advice. Please always consult your doctor, your healthcare provider, whenever you want to make a change or you want to be guided in your wellness journey. And I will say that growing up, I was fortunate. I rarely ever had a cold or a flu, and we didn't really go to the doctor very often unless it was for a checkup. And when there is a change in wellness, when something feels wrong, of course you are going from expert to expert. Of course you are seeking the right doctors and the right advice, and you want to find out what's happening, what's going on, how can we make this better? Of course, I am so appreciative for Western medicine. I use creams every single day that have pain relievers in them. They're compounded. Some of them have lidocaine, some have gabapentin. There are stronger ones. Those creams have gotten me through the last few years. I am thankful for Western medicine. And I also feel as though it can be very easy when you are feeling unwell to start to take on more of a victim mindset. And that is not a judgment. Everything I share comes from a place of compassion and love for myself and for you. But I can also see how in the last few months, being in a lot of PAIN, not being able to be around the people I love, spending time on my own, having pain in my knee, not being able to exercise, not feeling well, not getting good pain management, not sleeping well, all of these things, I started to feel like I can't do this and I can't do that. And in last week's episode, I mentioned that on a Friday night, I wrote a former physio who's an expert in central sensitization, which is where my brain and my central nervous system overreacts to even the smallest stimuli. And one of the reasons I was reaching out to him was because I was like, I'm not getting good pain management. This isn't working. Fast forward to a few days later, I discover the works of Dr. Michael Collins through Sarah Polly's book, Run Towards the Danger. And I start to see patterns in my life. I also start to see that I had pain flares and multiple migraines. I'm isolated. Then I hurt my knee. I'm in a lot of pain. then I can't do my daily walks. So I'm not getting any pain relief from my natural endorphins that would be created from my daily walking. Because I'm not walking every day, I'm not getting good productive sleep at night. It's a sort of a vicious circle, right? You stop exercising. Now the exercise that made you feel good no longer exists. So then what happens is mentally you start to feel unwell because you're not moving your body. I was not around humans very much. So then that creates another issue, especially as someone who's an extrovert and loves to be around other humans. I will give you an example. Having been around people more the last few days, I forget to eat because as an extrovert, I am filled up by the energy of others. And I look at the clock and I say, oh, you need to eat something. You need to make sure that you're also nourishing yourself with food. But the energy of other people makes me feel alive, makes me feel so thankful. And I share this because in North America, in our Western world, again, I am thankful for medication. But often it is the first solution given to a problem that could be helped alongside better nutrition, better sleep, better exercise. I also acknowledge that there are times when people do not have the capacity or the energy to exercise, to get better sleep, to have more social connection. And so absolutely use medication as a tool. But use medication as a tool, not the only tool. And again, I say this as someone who is at wit's end, thinking I feel so unwell. And I believe I mentioned it last week. I had 3 hours times 2 on 2 different days of feeling well in 2.5 months. That's not great. It was not fun. Everything was affected by the PAIN, by the weird sleep schedule caused by taking medication when I needed it, sleeping extra when I needed it, not being able to sleep at night, having less cardio, not being able to do as much, doing new exercises to retrain my vestibular system, which made my brain more tired. It was like a vicious circle. And so I share this so that we can all be more mindful and look at the big picture. Because I was so focused on, I'm not getting good pain management. What other medications could I take? What can I do? But because I was writing my physio and saw some patterns, I realized, oh, well, you haven't been able to do as much physical exercise, which means your mood is lower. And because you haven't done as much physical exercise, you're not sleeping as well. And I know I mentioned this already, but I'm mentioning it again because it's so important. These things that sometimes we resist. I don't want to. I don't feel like it. I will be the first to tell you that there have been many times in my life where I have resisted. We resist. But I started to think back about the time in 2019 where I knew I wanted to wean myself off of medication so that I could travel, so I was committed to it. And I knew that if I was going to do that, I had to walk a minimum of 45 minutes a day, because it is proven that if you walk that much, it improves your mood. If you walk that much, it can decrease pain. So I started to think, well, that's what I need to do. And that happened to coincide with me learning more about Dr. Michael Collins' work. To be fair, in Sarah Polly's book, she mentions walking 20 minutes in the morning, but my brain reverted to that time where I walked the 40 minutes a day, so I did it. And sharing about how it's been, one of the reasons I hadn't been walking that far previous to starting my Get My Life Back program on March 10th of this year is because I had hurt my knee. My knee was in pain, so then I wasn't walking as much. And what happens with the way my brain reacts to doing many activities is I will walk 15, 20 minutes, and then there's just this shooting pain. And the pain, it feels like it's telling you, stop, danger, don't move forward. And if you get your hands on the book that I mentioned last week called Explain Pain, sometimes your brain is just overreacting. I'm not causing tissue damage, but my brain is telling me stop. It stops me dead in my tracks. 2 weeks ago, I went to the pool to do my exercises. I stopped at a park nearby. I walked 2 or 3 minutes and my brain said, stop, danger, don't go any further. And I did. But now that I'm doing this new program and now that I'm remembering that I will feel anxious and that's okay. I will have increased pain and that's okay. I will be aware. I will be mindful. I will still ask myself, what do my body, brain, heart, and soul need in this moment? Maybe I just need to take a breath. Maybe I need to take a beat, and then I will keep walking. I will walk those 40 minutes every day because I know that that's going to help my mood. I know that that's going to help my sleep. And I'm doing it. And I will also acknowledge that since beginning this program 10 days ago, there are many moments where I feel as though I have the worst jet lag, the worst anxiety, and brain fog all rolled into one. There have been nights where I have had some pretty intense pain. However, other than the one night where I had really intense pain, I have not had a migraine. And I will take it. And this really is about mindset, because knowing that I'm not causing tissue damage, believing that by doing this for 30, 60, 90 plus days, I can get my life back because I truly am retraining my vestibular system, I can do this. Even in the moments of feeling awful. I went to the library yesterday. I was trying to print off some documents. It was a little confusing. I was a little frustrated. I was on the verge of tears. And I felt like the luckiest girl in the world because a friend walked up and said hello. And I got to chat with her and her daughter. And it was incredible. And it was wonderful. And it was extremely challenging. I almost always wear earplugs and sunglasses when I'm in public environments. I have stopped doing that. No sunglasses, no earplugs. Talking to my friend and her little girl, it was challenging. And then they said goodbye, and my heart felt so full. And I finished printing off the documents, and I started to feel that feeling. You get that, I think it's called bile in your mouth before you are going to throw up. I am not a thrower-upper, but I had that feeling. And as per the protocol I'm following, instead of resting or sleeping when you're in a challenging environment, the idea is you do a brisk walk or you do dynamic exercises. So you move around, do some exercises, move your body, and then you return to the challenging environment. I didn't return to the challenging environment because I wanted to get home, do my workout, and get to an Italian class I've signed up for. And I knew that might be ambitious, but I did the brisk walk home, and every step of the way, I felt like I was going to throw up. And when I got to my house, it felt a little bit better. And I thought, okay, I don't really have time to brisk walk anymore, and my legs are a bit tired. So I went in, I had some club soda with some cranberry juice to try and calm my tummy. I ate something. And over a 30 to 40 minute period, my brain started to calm down. I didn't sleep. I didn't rest. I moved into my workout, and at the end of my workout, lying in Shavasana, I allowed myself to do a 7-minute little meditation. I got in the shower, I got in an Uber, and I went to Italian class. And in Italian class, I didn't wear sunglasses. I stayed the entire time, and halfway through I took a break. I went to the bathroom, I jumped around. I'm sure the elderly gentleman in the room outside of the bathroom sitting on the couch wondered what the heck I was doing. I didn't care. I jumped, I moved around, I jumped some more until my brain started to calm down a bit, and I went back into the classroom. And I am so freaking proud of myself. I will say that being in Italian class, cognitively, like when I'm trying to understand what's happening with the verb tenses, my brain does not care. A woman next to me who I was partnered with was very intent on having the right answers and figuring out the grammar, and I didn't have the heart to tell her, lady, I'm just happy to be here. But my brain, like, it was so challenging to even think a thought, but I stayed. And I did it. And I'm going to keep doing it. And if it takes 3 months or if it takes 6 months and I get my life back, or I get a life back that doesn't mean 3, 6, 8, 10 weeks of resting in the quiet and the dark, I'm going to keep on going. So whatever challenge you might have in your life, whether it's physical, mental, something going on at work, something going on with friends or family, I would encourage you to value yourself, honor yourself, and love yourself enough to do what works for you, to believe in you, to believe you can do it, and advocate for yourself. This is what I need. This is what I'm going to do. I went to physio today to explain to one of my physios what my plan was. I emailed her in advance my 30, 60, 90-day plan, some photos of my big poster that I made, Get My Life Back, with driving distances and everyday reminders of what I'm doing and what I'm hoping to do. And I said to her that in my last appointment with the other physio, she was amazing. They're both amazing. However, although the other physio said, yep, go for it, she also did say, instead of running towards the danger, could we walk towards the danger? And I said no, because I feel like I've done it before, and if I don't fully commit to this, I know in my heart that it's not going to work. And I appreciate both of these women so much. They are incredible caregivers, incredible physios, amazing humans, and I need to do what works for me. And I also realized that as much as one of the physios said, okay, you can do this, her energy was hesitant. There was a fearfulness. So the day after my appointment, I was feeling weird. I wasn't feeling as convicted. I wasn't feeling as excited. I wasn't feeling as much like I can do this. And I realized that as an empath, I took on some of her hesitant energy. I also heard her. I also listened to every word that she said. I also respect and honor her opinion. But I have to honor mine more. And again, this is particular to me. I am not doing tissue damage. I might feel unwell. I might feel unwell for months, but I was already feeling unwell. And I was stuck in my house staring at the wall, alone and isolated and sad, crying almost every single day. That ain't it. So today when I went to the physio, I said, your colleague is incredible. I respect her. And I need your energy to be behind this. And guess what? She's behind it. I also asked for her expert opinion. Let me know your thoughts. What did you learn last week at that conference in Atlanta? But I need to do what I need to do for me and everybody who's going to be in my life right now. We all need to be on the same team. And so she is on my team. I know the other physio is on my team. And my expert former physio, who I'm going to see in a few weeks, he will absolutely be on my team. Why? Because I'm going to ask him to be on my team. I'm going to ask him to support me, to help me, to tell me about new research, to let me know what I can be doing better. Today I said to my physio, I need to know what I can do to calm down my neck so that I can keep doing these exercises, that I can keep moving forward with my Get My Life Back program. She gave me the exercises. One of the neck exercises I was already doing was not working for me. We found an alternative. There's always an alternative. It's always figureoutable. Don't trust the first source. Ask questions. Sometimes we think, oh, well, the doctor, they told me this, so that's it. Get a second opinion. I was told in 2012, this is as good as it's going to get. Do you know what was happening at that time? I had crazy vertigo, neck vertigo, inner ear vertigo. I couldn't drive. I couldn't go to work. I couldn't be around family or friends. I couldn't exercise. Oh, that's as good as it's going to get? Are you kidding me? Can you imagine if I believed him? So this is a call and an invitation to believe in yourself. If your heart is telling you, try it, try it. If the people around you aren't behind it, get behind yourself. Find people who will. And again, I will say it now. I said it last week. I'll say it again. This might not work. I might have more symptoms. I might not feel that well. It maybe won't give me what I'm looking for. But am I going to believe that it will? Abso-freaking-lutely. The other day I made a video of myself emotional because I felt hopeful. I am going to allow myself to feel hopeful. And I want you to allow yourself to feel hopeful, whatever that is. It might not have anything to do with your wellness. It might have to do with a dream that you've always had, with something that's been on the back burner, and someone discouraged you, or you feel like there's no time, or it's not the right time, or it's never going to happen. There is always time. And there is always energy to be hopeful and to believe in yourself. And in moments where you might not be believing in yourself, know that I am here, whether you know me or not, whether I've met you or not. I believe in you when you don't believe in yourself. A couple of years ago, I called myself a mindset transformation leader as my title on Instagram. What I am doing now is all mindset. Mantras and affirmations that I have been using for years, they are helping me now. The song I created when I was trying to light the pilot light of my motorhome, my 1979 GMC Vanguard, when the weather went from 30 degrees Celsius to 0 degrees in Waterton National Park a few years ago in the summer. It was rainy, it was wet, it was sleeting, it was snowing. I had on pajamas and a coat and another coat. I looked like a crazy person. And I'm trying to light this pilot light outside with the wind and the sleet and the snow. And I'm holding on to this barbecue lighter that's childproof. I can't light it when it's not cold outside and my hands aren't seizing up. And I would go inside the motorhome and I would come outside and try again. And I would go inside the motorhome and I would come outside and try again. And at one point I went back into the motorhome and I'm smiling and I'm singing and I know that I look so wild, and I made a little video and I sang this song that I created. It's not a good song, harmony melody wise. You've got this, you can do it, you can do it. You've got this, you can do it, you can do it. And I sing that song to myself now every day. When I walked home from the library yesterday with bile in my mouth, trying not to vomit, I kept singing and saying, you've got this, you can do it, you can do it. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. You've got this, you can do it, you can do it. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. So whatever it is in your life that you haven't done yet, you can and you will. I believe in you. You've got this. And I will continue on, and I promise to keep you posted. And in the meantime, I am sending you love. I am sending you hope and belief and trust that you can do this. You will do this. You are more than capable. Sending you love, sending you peace until we meet.